Okay, so this piece, so all month long I've been talking about opportunities in Command and how to work the opportunity board. In our last session, we talked about how to get DocuSign connected to Command, not DocuSign, excuse me, dotloop connected to Command. And then today I'm going to kind of show you a little bit of how you bring your forms in from dotloop once it's connected and making a commission sheet and what that looks like. I was just in Command and I've got to wait for this thing to go away.
So are these videos recorded on YouTube and we can go back and watch them? Is that what you're saying?
Yep, they sure are. Okay, can you guys see my command? Can you see my command screen?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay, it must have disconnected it.
You see your hair that almost looks pink in the sunlight.
Thanks, I need a root job. Alright, let me try sharing my screen again. Okay, now can everyone see my command?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so I must have just accidentally clicked that stop sharing button. All right, so now that you're in Command, sorry, I'm still writing down names of people coming in. All right, what you're going to want to do is after you get clients and you've got them on the opportunities board and you've been moving them through, that was the very first thing we talked about in the first class I taught. Now let's say that you have them under contract and you need to pull the documentation into Command so that you can submit it for compliance for Aaron and Joe, and I think Courtney does some reviewing of those forms as well. So what you'll do is you'll hit your little hands to go to the opportunity section. You'll come here. If you don't want to click on which one of these and try to figure out which opportunity is where, you can always click on the All Opportunities button located at the top of the screen. That'll then bring you to a list. I'm going to scroll down all the way to this one. When you click on the name of the opportunity, it'll then bring you to that details card. Okay. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to click on Documents. Now I'm already connected. Showed you guys how to do that last time. Now I'm going to show you how you bring in the forms and attach them. So you'll notice there's different folders over here to the left-hand side of the screen. There's the consultation where you can add documentation if you so wish, because this is a buyer opportunity. There's the under contract and the closed section, and you can just simply click on which folder you want to bring in files for. You'll notice that I've actually brought in some documentation on this one, because here it says add file, and here it's actually got a name attached to it. If I click it, it'll then show me the form. I can zoom in, zoom out.
And I got that form from where? I'm sorry.
The last class I taught, I showed everybody how to connect to their dotloop.
Okay.
And right now I'm getting ready to show you how to import them.
Gotcha.
So there's a couple different ways that you can import. If you just have one file that you need to bring over because you're like me and you already have some stuff in here, you just simply scroll down the list, look what you're looking for, hit add a file. We're going to tell it to go to dotloop. And if you remember from the last class, we're already connected to the specific dotloop that we need that's got all these documents in it. And then we can scroll through the list of files that are in dotloop and pick the one that goes with it. So we're just going to pretend it's this one. And then hit assign. There it is. Now it's in there. If you accidentally upload the wrong one, it's not a problem. You can just hit the 3 little dots and hit remove. Are you sure? Yep, I'm sure. Okay. But say you have a lot of files to bring in and you don't want to do it one at a time. That's absolutely fine. You can, right here at the top, it says attach multiple files. If you click that, it will then give you the option to hit dotloop, and then it'll give you a drop down for every single form. You'll notice this one is grayed out because I've already added a form to that. So I can just kind of scroll down through here, find the ones that I need to add, and I'm just throwing stuff in. And then hit attach. And it will have uploaded those forms in those areas. So once you're ready to submit to the MC for compliance so that they can make sure that everything's where it needs to be, you would simply hit this Submit to MC button. It's then going to ask you, are you sure you want to submit for review? Because once you submit it, you can't submit it again. I'm going to hit cancel because obviously I want to take out those one forms that don't belong there. But
I have a question.
Yeah.
If I submit the file and then I need to add one form later, will they see it?
They should, yes.
Okay.
If they don't, if it won't let you because you can't, my understanding is you can't resubmit once you've submitted it. So this is like after it's closed, you're turning it in to get paid. If they get it and something's missing, they'll reject it and it will send it back to you, and there'll be notes on your file telling you what to look for. I can actually give you an example of that right now. So let me submit this. See how it graded out and I can't submit it again, Kathy?
Yes.
Now what happens, I have Command MC, so Command Market Center. You guys don't have this, but I'm going to show you what happens. After it's submitted, Aaron and them will come in and they get to see the compliance side. So they get a nice list of everybody who submitted documentation. Right here. They'll click the review button. And they'll kind of go down through here and they can review all documents, and it'll pop them up on the screen, and they can kind of go through one by one to make sure they're right. This is the name of what the file is supposed to be. And you can see that this was supposed to be a new construction change order, but instead my repair and replacement amendment is there. So Aaron would reject this document, and then he would write me a note saying why he's rejected it. I'm not going to go through all of them. If something was missing that was needed for the file or whatever, he could flag it. See how it says missing there, rejected there. Now what happens on my side, if I go back to my command, sorry, my computer's a little slow where I'm recording and hosting this, so just bear with me. You can see it's telling me right here, hey, this is missing. This was rejected. If I hover over the little talking bubble, it will tell me why. So then I can replace it with the correct document. Pretend it's this one.
So I don't know, how are we saying that we left things out?
Bonnie Martin is a contractor for Tampa Law Firm that handles mortgage
Ed,
foreclosure.
mute yourself. Thank you. Okay, you'll see here how it says replaced, and then I can resubmit to the MC. So if you have to add a file later, you can resubmit it. If you have to change something, you can resubmit it. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. All right. So that's the compliance piece. Aaron has put these files together for us so that he's telling you what's needed to have a complete file. You can look down through here, add your documentation. I love the fact that they've added the add the multiple files at one time. It keeps it super simple. I just click, tell it to come over, and it's done. And then I can submit it to them to look at once I've closed. So right here is the closed file. So once this transaction closed, I'll upload my termite inspection, my property condition update, my buyer's final inspection, and the HUD or the ALTA statement. And then just submit it and they'll get that information. So that's the document piece of it. Before I move to the commission side, do I have any questions?
When is this going live? Like when should we start doing this?
We don't have a designated date yet. We're trying to get a little test group together and run it with a test group before we make the decision of when to go live.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? This part's pretty simple in my opinion. Okay. So there's your documentation. Now, the most important part is the commission sheet. And in order to get a commission sheet, you have to first have an offer accepted. So the way that works is either buyer or seller. You'll go to the offers tab. I'm just going to change response. Yes, change. Okay. You'll add an offer. You can call it whatever you want. It's going to ask you some questions. If you want to name it, you can name it. When the offer date was, what's the projected close date? Let's say it's the 22nd of June. It'll ask you, because this is a buyer, it'll ask you for the property address. If it's your listing, it will ask you for the address as well, but it's going to make you connect the listing up here. You'll hit the next tab, which brings you to the people involved. Your buyer's information will automatically fill out if you have the buyer. If you have a seller and it's a listing opportunity, the seller side will automatically fill out for you. So we're just going to play with this. After you filled out as much information as you care to, you only have to do the little stars to be able to proceed to the next stage, but if you wanted to put in the other information, you could. Then you'll go to the terms section. This is how it's going to generate your commission sheet. You can fill out if it's all cash, what they're financing, and then it will calculate the sales price for you. Just say that. It asks you the amount of earnest money that's going down on the property. We don't have an options fee in Tennessee. Buyer will give notice of termination within so many days, so that's your inspection period. Okay. Seller will contribute so much money to residential service contracts, so that's like if they live in a subdivision and they're bringing in the sewer system and they've got to pay X amount of dollars, you can put that in there. Seller will contribute so much money to settlement costs. This is your closing costs right here. So let's just say that they're going to pay $2,500 in closing costs for us, and we're going to pay the rest. And then you'll hit agent analysis. For a buyer, I find this section is pretty not needed, but for a listing side, this is really nice because if you get multiple offers in, you can put the pros and cons and give them a summary of the offer, and then you can shoot them an email comparing all the offers side by side. But this is a list, this is a buyer, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. Save. That will then bring me to this side right here. So once your offer is accepted for a buyer, or your seller has agreed on a offer, you just simply hit accept. That will then open up the commissions tab. So you can come in here. They are going to give us a little bit of an update on commission sheets, which will make it a whole lot easier to be able to do a couple things. If you notice right now, if I go to like change a number in here, it kind of like auto recalculates. I didn't press enter or anything. I just backspaced a number and it automatically started to recalculate everything. The next little upgrade they're going to do for us, it's going to actually give us a pop-up window. Let us change all the numbers in the pop-up window, hit save, and then it will auto-calculate instead of trying to calculate while you're still working in it. So it is going to get better, so just bear with it. So it's kind of the same setup as a green sheet, except instead of having columns, everyone's kind of got like little squares to work with. It'll ask you for your contract date, close date, all that good information again. If you need to change the commission rate, you can change the commission rate here. If you need to change the unit, say that I'm not getting a full unit, you can change it there. It's gonna auto recalculate, but I am. But for all those people in coaching, Ron doesn't get the unit, he just gets a certain percentage. So what you would do is you would need to calculate that out with your calculator. I don't know what he gets. I'm just going to pretend it's 10%. So the first thing that you would have to do is you would have to subtract this from the total commission. So then this would become my commission. So 6975. It'll recalculate everything down through here. Now it's telling me total agent commission do not equal the total commission for the opportunity. What that means is this number doesn't match this number, so it won't let me submit it. But if I scroll down, I can add an agent. It'll then give me this menu to look for the agent. Can click on Ron Barrett, add. We'll pull him up for me. I'm not going to give him a unit, but I am going to give him that. Was it 775? I'm off a number. There we go. So then that red bar goes away. And both of our commissions are on here. You'll notice right here the deductions for KW Care, KW Kids, Bold Scholarship, E&O. You can't click in the E&O section for us because we don't do that. But you can click in these sections to donate towards those causes, which are wonderful causes. If you needed to add a specific item, you could click Add Item within your little blocked area. You then would select what kind of item it was. Maybe you got a bonus or there was concessions. Maybe we needed to account for that, so we could hit concessions. Add, then it will account for pulling off the concessions amount and it'll adjust. Trying to find. If that's not right, you can simply hit the button to trash it and throw it away. Very simple. These are where you would also do your referrals. You type in the percentage, it'll calculate the amount. You'll do the EIN number. You'll put in that information for them, the agent's name, the company they work for, the address and the phone number, and then you'll add it, and it'll add it to your sheet for you and calculate that money out. So everything that you see on a green sheet just in one section instead of multiple pages. You can also add notes right here by clicking Add Notes. These notes are seen by the MC. And I find that they're nice because I do some dotloop stuff for another agent in the office. And I always make notes right here for her that, hey, Brooke is getting a $150 fee for facilitating the transaction for me or for putting the listing in the MLS for me. That way, if there's ever a question of why I'm getting paid off of someone else's commission, there's a note in there, the MC can see it. And not only that, but the agent that I helped, if they ever go back to it and they're like, hey, why did I pay her for that? They can see clearly why and when I got paid for those things. Floral, what's your last name?
Oh. Hold on. It's Laura Dowling.
Thank you. So after you've went through and made all the changes and adjustments that you wanted to make, you just simply hit submit, and then that would go to the MC for review. Now there is one very big difference between green sheets and commission sheets in Command. If there is a discrepancy on the closing disclosure and the commission sheet in Command, they will have to reject it. You will have to make the changes and then resubmit it.
Oh, crap. Why is it doing that?
Who is doing that?
It's me, and I'm not meaning to. Can I not? I'm on my phone. Can I not, like, make it bigger on my phone?
I don't know. I'm not on your phone.
I know. I don't know why it's making red marks.
It's acting like you, what is that thing called? A Kirby?
Oh, that's crazy. Sorry.
You're okay. You're okay. It's wild that it's doing that. Okay, so do I have any questions about the commission sheet? This is where I usually get a ton of questions.
I just would like a one-on-one appointment with you at some point.
You got it, boss.
Because I can't figure even out how to get to that.
Because you missed the last session.
I know, and then I was just trying to connect dotloop, and it wasn't allowing me to, and so, yeah. But anyways, we'll work on that another time.
Yeah.
I got lots to catch up on.
Yeah, I can send you the videos too, if you want me to.
Okay. If that's easier, I don't care. Whatever's easier.
Whatever's easier. I'll try to.
Yeah, send them to me too.
Who's
I mean,
me?
I like
Laura.
hands-on stuff too. I mean, I'm probably better at learning if I'm watching you. I can barely see it on my phone. I don't have a video on my computer, so.
Okay. Well, I made a note to send that to you, the first 2 classes, so that you can see that.
Okay.
Do I have any other questions? Thoughts, comments, concerns?
Thank you for all that you're doing on this.
Oh, well, you're welcome. Kathy,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you guys think that you could do this now or no?
Maybe. So we still use dotloop and the green sheets. Are we supposed to be putting it in here also, or?
No. For right now, when we make the switch, this is how you'll do it. But currently, unless you're in the test group, you will still use green sheets and submit your files via dotloop.
Okay.
But essentially what this is doing, instead of having to go do a green sheet and then go into dotloop and duplicate the information, so the MC is not having to go to like several different places to make sure everything's right. Everything will be housed within Command and they can just look at it right there on one screen.
Okay.
So that's the goal. I honestly feel like the commission sheets are a lot easier. It doesn't require as much information as green sheets do. I feel like it's a simpler read once you get in here and create I encourage you to create a dummy opportunity. And then if you were at the last class, instead of going into dotloop and creating a dotloop, you would go into command on the documents tab and start a transaction, and then it will create a loop for you. And they'll be connected, so then you can bring over your documentation and it'll all be sitting there for you to look at. And then once you submit your offer and it gets accepted, then your commission sheet will generate. So it builds, one builds off the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't know how I missed that last class. Can I have the video also?
Yes. I'll put a star by your name.
Yeah, and I think I missed the second class. This is Kathy.
I've got you. Kathy, you missed my first class, but I had you in my second class.
Because I have it connected and that's all I did.
Yeah, we connected it and then I showed you how to create the loop, but I'll send that to you anyway so that you can get a refresher.
Thank you, thank you.
You are welcome. I love how someone drew on my screen. I wonder if that's gonna like go away.
I hope you get a raise.
You hope I get a raise? Me too.
From nothing to something.
Oh, it's been fun. Did y'all get my, this is just for Aaron. Did y'all get my group text this morning? Did that go through to everybody?
I did, but
You did? Okay. Well, if you got it, I think everyone else probably did too. Nobody responded to us. I was like, all right.
was I supposed to respond?
No. All right. Any questions? If there's no questions, we'll end this today. If you guys want me to answer some questions, I totally will. This class was till 4 o'clock. It's only 3:30.
Thank you, Brooklyn.
You're welcome.
See everybody tomorrow on team meeting for sure, right?
Are we doing it via Zoom?
I don't know.
I think
You
so.
probably know more than I do.
I think it's Zoom again.
Mm.
All right, guys. Well, I'll send everyone that requested the video from the last one. I'll get off here and do that, and then I'll upload this one as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.